Barbra Banda was voted BBC's Woman Footballer of the Year. She received the most votes from readers. Very quickly, she scored 13 goals for the Pride in the 2024 NWSL regular season, despite only joining in March. And she had 4 goals in the playoffs, which obviously included the game-winning goal in the championship final last week, as the Orlando Pride won its first title. But sadly, Barbra was met with a lot of online abuse, people attacking her gender. I mean, we're seeing this time and time again. Megan, what are your thoughts?
Well, God, first of all, just an absolute banner year for Barbra Banda. A lot of hype coming with her, a huge price tag with her transfer fee, all of that. And she lived up to all the hype. That's not easy to do, especially when all the money was on the line. She scored in every playoff game. She scored the game-winning goal in the final. She was sensational. So to have this happen on the back of such an important year for her, such an incredible year is just, I think personally, I'm just this is so sad. And just I just feel upset for her. And I really feel for her. She seems great. Seems like all of her teammates really love her. And she's certainly been amazing for women's football. I think it's also just, it's just cruel and gross and just untrue. And so there's that side of it. Then I feel there's the sort of the global campaign against trans people just as a fear-mongering that is happening that we've talked about a number of times on this show and will continue to talk about. But basically this is what's happening, is that the argument is, well, first of all, Barbra Banda is not trans. Barbra Banda is a woman. She was born a woman. She identifies as a woman. She's a woman. She plays women's football, and she's great at it. So there's that, first of all. The argument is that men are flooding into women's sports, and therefore we need to protect women from those men that are flooding it, which is not happening at all. But since that's very clearly not happening, we're just going to attack the women who are actually playing women's sports in an effort to protect the women who are playing women's sports. And if that sounds insane and you're lost, that's because it is insane and it doesn't make sense literally at all. The fear-mongering that's happening in multiple different sports, but it's obviously happening right now in women's soccer around Barbra Banda, that men are just coming in and dominating the sports. That's literally not happening. So all we're doing is attacking women. All we're doing is attacking women.
Policing their bodies.
Policing their bodies. It's oh, so you don't look enough, quote, in quotes, look enough like a woman or present enough so it's obviously this is a slippery slope that we get into. And really the point from, the detractors or the, mostly Republicans in this country, but the J.K. Rowlings of such is just cruelty to create confusion in people, to create doubt, and to create these allegations to just have trans people not exist, because that's insane and that's cruel and that's gross and they do exist and they have a right to exist. So for me, it's just predictable that this is happening. And so I want everyone to pay attention and understand what's happening. This is very purposeful, why they're doing it at this particular moment for someone who's doing amazing things and who's really shining an amazing light on women's football and the way that it's growing all over the world. And yeah, it really sucks though. Yeah. It's really sad. What are your thoughts, Sue?
The only thing I'd add is, in the name of protecting women's sports, when people use that or say that, I'm just well, where are you for the actual issues that are, against us? Mm-hmm. Whether it's, being held back, things we talk about on this podcast all the time, the systems that be and how they don't allow us to grow or thrive. You haven't heard a word over the course of in my entire career that I can remember of people, coming to our defense in this way. So that always feels just disingenuous. Feels like they use this trans argument to push other ideas, to your point, fear-mongering. Another thing, just to reiterate, people have been attacking the BBC because of this, and it was actually voted on by fans, which is really just a demonstration of misinformation, how that works, how that can build a fire, fuel a fire, and get people riled up. So sad to see that, but congratulations to Barbra Banda. Very, very deserving.